where it is generally said that to destroy is easy, but to rebuild that which has been destroyed is more tasking. Now, the Rivers State government has approved 19.5 billion naira for the reconstruction of the State House of Assembly chambers demolished in the wake of the political crisis that engulfed the state. And the State Executive Council gave the approval after a meeting at the government house in Port Harcourt, and the project made up of about 34 ensuite offices on a two-story building with elevator, gallery, meeting rooms, and a conference hall is expected to be completed in 9 months. Asuko, I saw you, shaking your head, wondering like, this is unbelievable. Would you like to share with us what you were thinking?
Well, I was wondering when the old one, was built and how much, I was trying to do that to them, research and, and then how much this is going to also cost the government. I know the governor actually said it was because it was bombed. We don't even know the state. I think the last time the court, the suspects are already in court. They are facing prosecution. But we don't know how far that case is going to be, because somebody has to pay for this. 19 billion. Let me say 20 billion is not. It's not
20 naira.
It's not 20 naira now, Esther. Billion, no, not million. To build, forget about all these things that they are saying is going to be all ensuite, two-story building, gallery, meeting room, and all that. Those ones are just talk, and it's going to be 9 months. It is not about that. It is about people facing prosecution for wrongdoing. If actually they are rebuilding, or they demolished that particular complex because of somebody who just woke up and decided to bomb that place, that person is supposed to pay for that rebuild.
Damage.
That is it. Somebody can just wake up and say, okay, I want to start killing like they do in, over there. Even in Nigeria, they've started doing, just go somewhere and begin to kill people. No. Some people have to pay for things like this, And for now that the government have decided that, okay, they want to rebuild, we hope that this time around somebody will not go back there and say, we want to, bomb the complex. Because if they bomb this one now, because all this has happened when they had political crisis.
Right.
All this happened when they had political crisis. By the time everybody, that is one thing about politics. Everybody is angry now. By the time they want to settle, you are used to go and do the problem now, maybe you will be the one in jail. Because the parties that we are fighting, they will be drinking tea. So those who are always fighting when politicians are fighting, sometimes I laugh. You don't know where these people meet for them to settle. These two people that you are seeing, this weekend for Barra, don't be surprised and see them somewhere. In the night, they might be meeting somewhere and be drinking pami. And all of us are here, we are fighting. So let's sometimes we need to also keep our anger in check, and let our reasoning be in our heads. But for this, it's just a chunk of the Rivers budget that is going to be used for this, and it's very sad. It should have been used for other things.
Yeah, indeed. MJ, when I first saw the story, the same thought I thought about, like, the people will get to suffer for this. Although the budget has been released and it shows pretty much of a chunk going to education and the likes, well, some would say, well, 19 billion is not too much to take out of the budget. What do you make of this?
In these circumstances, 19.5 billion is way too much to use for the reconstruction, quote and unquote, of the House of Assembly complex that was bombed and burnt. Like Azuko said, somebody must pay for this. But no matter the number of jail terms you prescribe for this kind of, for the perpetrators, will that reimburse the purse of the long sovereign people of Rivers, who is going to, this money could have gone into healthcare development, could have gone into education, infrastructure development, or some other uses, or even if for the payment of salaries. This, in a state like Rivers, we pay at least 3 months' salary. It's 19 billion, at an average of 6 billion per month.
So what would you want the government to do? Because it definitely needs a new state assembly.
Well, this is politics. A stress test was carried on the old assembly. And what they said, it only needed maybe just minor repairs and refurbishment. It does not require a whole pulling down of the structure. Now, see, this is all politics. And what we have today in Rivers, let's forget about the figures, is 1-1 goalless draw. As in, where a team plays 1-1 and it's still a goalless draw at the same time. So no victor, no vanquished. It's 50-50 in Rivers. This is simply Wike and Fubara. And Fubara is borrowing a leaf from what the outgoing governor of Edo did when he went to remove the roof of the House of Assembly complex, Obaseki, Godwin Obaseki, where, I think just about, at a point, 7 members of the Assembly sat for almost 6 years. So, he removed the roof of the Assembly and he put some barricades and some concrete and granite around the Assembly place. Said, no, the place is under repair for almost 2 or 3 years. Nothing was happening there. Now Fubara has graciously relocated these 5-member Assembly members to the Government House chambers.
It's even 3, sir.
Oh, no, now there are 3, because 1 resigned and 1 is... so, I think there are 3 of them. So, 3 people approved the state budget, and which the ESCO is now rubber stamping at the expense of the people, just because 2 big men are fighting each other. And that is true. This is a result of the fight between Wike and Fubara. Simple, in clear terms. But who suffers? It is where 2 elephants fight. It is the grass that suffers. So, the governor wanted to extend the demolition to the new
quarters.
Staff quarters, legislative quarters. That was just commissioned less than 2 years ago, late 2022. It wanted about, it took the intervention of elders in the state and National Assembly members to say, bros, please leave
calm down.
Calm down. don't demolish it. So, it's not a joking matter, but if this is the kind of the kind of things democracy gives birth to, then we really need to have a rethink. And why would somebody go and inflict a 19.5 billion damage on an assembly complex that is, as far as I'm concerned, in that complex that is being rebuilt now is not up to 5 years, because it was built by Wike, and Wike spent 8 years there. He built it in the second term. So what are we talking about here? The Lagos State House of Assembly complex has been there since 1999. It's just undergoing some minor refurbishments. But in a spate of how many years? In a spate of less than 5 years now, almost maybe 50 billion is going into the building and reconstruction of the Rivers State House of Assembly.
So if this remains an issue, because where 2 elephants fight, like you rightly stated, the grass suffers, how can we prevent a situation where politics comes before governance, where people get to do things, where those who are meant to govern a state are allowed to do things and go scot-free? Isn't there any legal system to check against such errant behavior, I would say?
Well, governors are almost next to God They have immunity. So, even if a governor kills somebody, you can't, they can hide under the guise of him defending himself.
Exactly.
And nothing will touch him for as long as he carries that immunity till the end of his tenure. So, governors are like mini gods. So it's always difficult. It depends on the individual. I mean, so many, the Wike Fubara situation is happening in so many states, but it depends on how the personalities involved are managing it, especially the sitting governors in those states. It depends on how they are managing it.
Doesn't this border on, reviewing the Constitution, as it were?
Yes, maybe we should review the Constitution and remove the immunity clause. Maybe it will allow some of these governors to know that, yes, you don't have that absolute power.
But you know that to remove that immunity clause now will be very difficult.
Why?
Why? Because some of those senators, some of the House of Reps, didn't believe that after House of Reps, they are going to come back to become governors.
So that's it.
So they too, they also want to enjoy what the present governor. So they know, politicians know how to play the chess game very well. You understand? So if you think that they are going to erase something that they know that in future it will benefit them, they are lying. But just like you said, I feel it's something that they can amend if we want a good country and we want people to, when they go into government, they should work for the people and not for themselves. Then we'll begin to look at a people's constitution, a constitution that will appeal to everybody, that people will be able to say, this is what we want for us to be able to build Nigeria.
So are you saying a reorientation on the part of the people, on the part of those who govern the people?
The people, Esther, you need to know that Nigerians are quite aware now. But those in power, will they allow Nigerians to have their way? And when I mean have their way, when once we know that, okay, we do not want immunity inside our constitution, at the end of the day, we have this so-called constitution amendment, whatever. If we want to erase it, they will tell you, okay, we have heard. When they go, want to, those again, say, hey, those again, that is where the whole thing will end.
Well, let's hope that this matter gets addressed as soon as possible in the interest of the general people, Nigeria. But that's where we end.